We're back with more interviewing with Marilu Schmier, the author of Waiting for Weston, the book that's available in spring of 2012, and you can get your copy on Amazon.com or at WestonSchmier.com. Marilu, I want to get back to the conversation about this journey. We've already talked about, you seeking out answers from the medical community, and when they told you that Weston was mentally retarded, you didn't believe it. You did your own research and you found some alternative paths. Can you tell us a little bit about where that led you?
Well, let me correct you a little bit. Of course, when someone tells you your child is mentally retarded, of course you believe. A portion of you will believe that comment. It's not anything that I took lightly. But it also, after crying and eating chocolate, I think I got a strength inside of me, and I remembered, before I was pregnant, what I was told, you're going to have a child, it's going to be a boy, there's going to be something wrong with him, but that he would be okay by the time he was 5. I really fell back on that memory a lot, and that memory gave me a lot of strength. So when I was raised Catholic, and in Catholicism we're taught to believe in miracles, and I fully believed that I was going to have a miracle with Weston. Why not? And I felt very strongly about that, and I have my father to thank for that, that very strong spirituality. And my parents, both my mother and my father, raised all of us Catholic. We all went to Catholic schooling, but my father was more spiritual. So to get back to your question, when did I kind of veer off from the medical more towards the spiritual alternative, we'll say? It was gradual. Initially it was because I needed to address Weston's health issues. And so I started seeking out homeopathy, Ayurvedic medicine, more alternative. I took him to see a biochemist. So initially started with his physical issues, and I started seeing improvements with that. So it wasn't a stretch for me to start looking at other options for him as well, because now we're addressing the physical issues, and now is there more out there that's alternative that will help him physically? And I talk about in my book, it all started this very huge right turn that I made when I went to Costco one day. And I talk about that, as I said in the book, where I was at Costco and I was looking for some Easter books for the kids, and I was in the children's section, and there was a book called Indigo Children, which was by Jan Tober. And I saw it, Costco was like $6. I thought, okay, throw it in there, and it wasn't a child's book, it actually was for adults. And I read that book, and that was, I think, gosh, what year was that? That was probably like in 96, 98, I guess, something like that. Okay. And that's when everything really started. I started opening up my eyes to, there was a possible reason other than what the medical doctors are saying, that there was a sensory issue or various, medical terms for the way he was acting. And again, in my quest to make him the person who I thought he was supposed to be, that's how I started. That's how I kind of started going that way.
And so, who were the type of people then that you started taking Weston to visit? In your book, you do a very good job of telling the stories and really the narrative of who you went to see. But for those who haven't read the book yet, who did you take Weston to see?
Well, I took him to see people that I never, didn't know they existed, for one. In the book, in the book called Indigo Children, they talked about a group of people called Huna, H-U-N-A, Huna healers. And they are healers who are based on the Hawaiian practice of breathing. And it was interesting. I thought, well, if I ever come across one, whatever, maybe. Well, it turns out, when you pray, for help and assistance, and that was something that I prayed a lot about. As Weston was getting older, and the medical issues were not fixing him like I thought they were going to. I had a very good friend of mine, Carla, who told me, remember to pray to the Holy Spirit. And when she said that, it just went right to my heart, and I thought, you know what, she's right. I need to pray to the Holy Spirit to have the strength of faith to continue. Because there were days when I didn't want to continue. There was days when I just wanted to literally stay in bed. So I remember to pray to the Holy Spirit, and I would always say the same prayer, please bring me the people that I need to help Weston. I was almost afraid sometimes to pray for the miracle, but I always asked the Holy Spirit to please bring me these people. And so when I read this book, Indigo Children, I talked about Huna healers, and I was always praying that particular prayer. another girlfriend called me up who had a special needs son who had said, hey, you know what, why don't you come with me to meet these new people, and they're Huna healers. And honestly, I had read about them 2 days earlier. Had I not read about them, I probably would have nixed the whole thing and not gone, because it was just too weird, and it's against my religion, and all these these feelings that I had that I really didn't quite understand would have start coming to the surface. But I had read about it, I remembered what I had been praying for, so that's how I started, and that was the first step. And it was really about trusting at that point, because I didn't really know anything about them. I was just going to go, I was going based on trust, based on the fact that I prayed, they're here, try it. So
thank you, Marilu. We'll have more with Marilu when we come back.